Hi there, welcome to the Gardens and Graveyards channel. Today we're meeting in the Moon Garden and we are back in session. If you have been following me for a little while, you know that I took a couple of weeks off. We posted a couple of videos that were already edited and ready to rock over the last couple of weeks, but now we're ready to get back into scheduling and filming and all of the fun things that YouTubers do. I actually, for the rest of the month of October, we have already filmed all of our videos. I'm buttoning up 2 more projects today, and we will schedule them out. So I'm kind of doing a slow transition back into regular scheduling. And then we'll come into November, December, January, and those are winter months where it's a little harder for garden content to be created. It's also much harder for graveyard content to be created because we typically travel outside of our areas to tour graveyards with all of you, and traveling is harder. In years past, Spencer and I have taken a week-long vacation and gone to Eastern Oregon or Washington, and I've gone to Boston. We've gone different places, and we film a whole bunch of graveyards so that we can share them with you over the winter. I just was not in the mode of pushing super hard this year, and I think we all come into seasons in our lives like this, but I think we give ourselves even more permission to slow down and be in that season as we get a little bit older. And I'm really finding myself cultivating this space in my life where there's a lot more room to breathe, and it is really helping me. Okay, if you're hearing hammering, Spencer's doing a little project in the garage behind me, so it's like and then our neighbor is using a chainsaw. We have a neighbor that does chainsaw art, like making, mushrooms and bears and stuff. So that's happening in the background. So I apologize if there's a lot of background noise. Anyhow, so I'm just really leaning into that season of slowing down, and the autumn here in the Northwest, Northern Hemisphere, Northwest United States, the world is slowing down. The plants are slowing down, right? So we're just in that deep season of letting go of things that no longer serve us and really taking the time to think and contemplate. I'm always in my head. I'm a planner. I have big dreams. But this season, I'm making it a point to not plan, but to really contemplate. And the difference there is I'm really thinking about, what do I want my life to look like? Not how do I get there, not, push harder and make it happen, but how do I want to feel in my body? How do I want to interact with my family and friends? What is really important to me as a legacy leader? Where can I have an impact in my community? These are the types of thoughts that I'm having right now. And instead of just wondering what it is and moving into the next thing, I just really wanted to slow down and really make some informed decisions in my body and my mind to what this next season of my life is going to look like. Not just the season as in winter, but the season as in the third spiral of the Driscoll spiral. What is that third spiral going to look like as it gets tighter and winds tighter and tighter into the end of my life? Because I feel like I'm kind of in that centerpiece where the really big arcing spiral is beginning as I've entered into menopause, right? So anyhow, that's just kind of where I'm at. And so it's been really nice to take a couple of weeks off. It's been really hard to not feel guilty about not pushing harder. And, you know, I've been doing YouTube for 6 years, consistently posting 5 to 7 videos a week. And I was feeling like on the brink of burnout. I was definitely having a lot of like internal woe is me. And a little bit of like, what am I even doing here? And the fact is, I really enjoy making these videos. I like sharing my garden with my community. I love having a broader garden community to share my garden with. Because I don't have gardening friends locally, so, or not friends that, you know, I can interact with very much. I do have local gardeners that I can talk to on occasion, but we're not like friends. And I feel like I've made some really fabulous friends through YouTube, and I am deeply grateful for that. So I want to continue to cultivate that, but I think it's going to look a little bit different. And I'm going to continue just leaning into it. So for the next couple of weeks, we have some videos coming out. We did a big project. We removed our escallonia. We talked about that a little bit in our garden tour video yesterday. But we will share the video with you of like taking down that big shrub. We built a dead hedge, which I have a couple little things that I want to tidy up on it today. And we'll finish that video. There's moon garden blooms to install here in the moon garden, and then we've got, you know, just some witchy fun Halloween DIYs and floral arrangements coming out. Yeah, just like little things, right? And then come November, I think we're probably going to scale back and do less videos per week, maybe a little bit more storytelling, maybe a little bit more history, maybe a little bit more in-depth, just to create a little more meaning into what it is that I'm doing in these spaces. And definitely November is all about planning. It's all about like, we're planting bulbs, we're planning for the future. We're, you know, our seed orders just came in. I'll talk about what seeds we're going to be planting next year, how I organize those things, you know, how I plan for the next year's garden. And we'll do a little contemplation about, you know, look backs over the year, what was successful, what was a failure, what we'd like to change, all those kinds of things. I really like to dive into those types of topics in like November-ish. And then we'll see how the rest of the winter goes. But I appreciate you hanging out with me and, you know, going on this journey with me as I kind of transition into the next chapter of my life. And I'm glad that I get to continue experiencing and sharing that part of my life with you. We're coming into a new moon, which is the perfect time to be dreaming into the next phase. And it is also a really great time, like my energy is starting to rise from all of the shedding and letting go that I did over the full moon. Over the last 2 weeks, I also did a couple of ceremonies to release some communities that I'm no longer a part of, which was creating a lot of internal havoc of losing that community, and you know, what does that mean for my personal life now? And sitting in ceremony, releasing those on a physical and a psychological level really helped me clear the debris, so I have a much more clean view of what the future what the possibilities are for the future. So yeah, that's what this new moon is all about for me. And I'd love to hear in the comments below what the new moon is bringing for you. How are you experiencing it? Have you had a big upheaval in the last couple of weeks, or has it been kind of like chill for you? I'd love to hear how the moon is affecting all of us in this community. And even though I'm going to be planting my blooms today and sharing that with you in the next Monday, I'm really excited about these blooms, so I'm gonna give you a little tiny sneak peek as we walk around the moon garden, and I'm gonna give you a October moon garden tour just because I'm so surprised at how good things still look. We had multiple days of rain, and these impatiens, you guys, are blowing my mind. They still look so amazing. I can't wait to show them to you. So I'm gonna turn the camera around. We're gonna just take a little walk around the garden. Everything's very wet, but the sun is in a great position right now, so everything's really shining in the garden, so you could see it really good. That's why I was sitting on my kneeling pad, because the bench is super wet. We're gonna just start right here. Of course, we've got our moss still filling in. I've now removed the baskets that were up on these posts, and I've tucked them underneath here to protect these begonias a little bit. These are double up white begonias from Proven Winners. They will winter over in my garden. Last year I had them in the greenhouse because I moved them from their previous location, but they'll probably get mushy and die all the way back, and then they'll immediately start flushing and just have a little tiny crown of foliage way down deep, and they'll just kind of live like that for the winter. This is a verbena that overwintered and is looks like it's about to bloom again. This is a cashmere pink verbena, and I think it must have been in the container with this double up begonia, because I did not plant it in this container, but it came up this year, and it's just looking so good that I couldn't resist leaving it, or I couldn't resist it, and I had to leave it in there. So I'm just letting it do its thing. Then in the raised bed, you could see everything's kind of more or less done. The bright shining moment right now is the Dusty Miller. And again, the Dusty Miller will overwinter in my garden. I do have to cut it back. Right now, I mean, it's looking great, but what happens is it all ends up looking kind of like what it looks like down in the interior there. I just cut it back, and then it flushes back in the early spring. But this year I'm removing all the Dusty Miller from my garden, from the moon garden, because we're going to do a different theme in the moon garden next year. We still have Black Prince snapdragons blooming here, looking really pretty, and we still have some pincushion flowers that are blooming. The Cafe Ole dahlia is done blooming, and so is the Rip City dahlia, and we'll be removing these from this garden as well, but they were a beautiful addition this year. And then we do have a couple of calendula still trying to put on some blooms. Panning around this way, look at this impatient. Is it not just absolutely gorgeous? I've never deadheaded this thing. I stopped fertilizing it at the end of August. It's still just completely wild. There's tons of buds in here, tons of opportunity for it to continue to grow. The rain does cause it to have like these magenta red splotches on them. Last year, I feel like it failed quickly, or maybe I acted too soon and removed it. No, that's not true. I did not remove it. I had one plant. This is the one that overwintered, I think. Is that true? Now I can't remember. I know it did not look like this, and I know we cut it all the way back. I just can't remember if I left it to grow back and then I bought another one for the other pot, or if I had to buy two to replace them this year. I can't remember. Anyhow, if they come back, fabulous. If they don't, I will repeat those in the garden next year. I mean, just incredibly impressive. Look at that. It's so beautiful. And then in these pots, we still have the double up begonias. In both the pots, the Diachondra Silver Falls in that pot still looks beautiful. And we planted a guara in this one, and it was just a little baby. And so it's hanging in there, but it's not filled in. We have removed all the Dusty Miller from all of the baskets and pots in this garden, with the exception of these angel wings, because they still just look beautiful. And they've also got a double up begonia. Let's see if this one's easier to see. Isn't that so pretty? I just love it. They like, especially with the diachondra silver falls, just beautiful combination. The shamrocks are loving this colder weather, blooming, looking beautiful and full. And of course the hostas are about to like fail for the winter, which is normal. And then our wisteria has its fall color, which will be so fun when it becomes like this big you know, vine full of that fall color. Because if you've been noticing, I do not have any fall color in this garden room, with the exception of this balloon flower, which is new to my garden. And I was so pleasantly, let's see, let's get my shadow in here so you can see the color. I was so pleasantly surprised at how bright this plant looks. It's definitely looking a lot worse for wear now that we've had several days of rain, but oh my gosh, it's just such a vibrant fall color. It's super fun. Again, with the black prince, snapdragons, which won't stay in this garden, but I will overwinter them in here. They will come back for me. We'll overwinter them here, and then we'll move them to a different location in the spring. Here's my sneak peek. We're going to plant dianthus and a veronica. Raised beds here. We just have the double up white begonias in here, and we did have Dusty Miller in the middle here, but they just got all gross and rotten, so we are removing all the Dusty Miller everywhere. And again, we'll just let these overwinter. I think I want these down in the poison garden next year, but I'll let their roots stay tucked in where they're established, and we'll move them out in the spring. Over on the deck here, the Bruwala is finally starting to close its blooms and not push any new buds. But this thing has been blooming for months on end, and the morning geranium just got huge. So I have to kind of make a decision about how I'm moving forward with these two plants, because I think I mean, this thing got kind of pushed out of the pot. The pot is way back here. It's, you know, 2 feet out, maybe 1.5 feet out of the pot, just to try to find some sunshine. Loved this trailing begonia. Definitely doing that again. Also has some really fun, fantastic fall color. Isn't that great? And this this fuchsia just got stuck here because I didn't know where else to put my fuchsias that I had, and they just needed to get out of, they were in these little 1-inch containers. And so they got stuck in here this year, but they're gonna come out. And then I need to take some cuttings from my couple of different kinds of geraniums that I have in here. And we'll do that in a video here soon. Of course, we've got the Creeping Charlie that will overwinter, and we've got the ground cover here that will look beautiful all winter as well. And that is going to do it for today's Monday Moon Garden tour and a little update on the Gardens and Graveyards channel. Make sure that you are subscribed, because now that I'm not going to be posting every single day, you'll definitely want to be subscribed so that you're notified every time I post a new video. And until then, keep celebrating your life, and we'll see you soon. Bye.